Irreducible complexity has not been falsified, a defense of intelligent design. Irreducible complexity is a cornerstone in the argument for intelligent design. Despite efforts from critics of this idea, irreducible complexity has not been falsified, and its validity falsifies Darwinian evolution. Irreducibly complex systems, those composed of multiple, interdependent parts that must all function together, pose significant defeaters for the idea that life evolved gradually through random mutations and natural selection. Here, I will explore the definition of irreducible complexity, review some of the attempts to disprove it, and explain why these efforts have fallen short. I will argue that irreducible complexity remains a compelling argument for intelligent design, as the intricate and interdependent systems found in biology point to purposeful creation rather than random, unguided processes. 1. What is irreducible complexity? Irreducible complexity, as introduced by biochemist Michael Behe in his landmark book Darwin's Black Box, 1996, refers to a biological system that consists of multiple interacting parts, where the removal of any single part renders the entire system non-functional. Behe used the analogy of a mousetrap to illustrate this concept. A mousetrap consists of several parts: base, spring, hammer, catch, and holding bar, and if even one part is removed, the trap cannot function. Similarly, biological systems that exhibit irreducible complexity require all of their parts to be present and fully functional from the start. They could not have evolved gradually through small, beneficial mutations, because an incomplete version of the system would offer no survival advantage to an organism. This presents a significant challenge to neo-Darwinian evolution, which relies on the gradual accumulation of small, advantageous changes. Some of the most well-known examples of irreducibly complex systems in biology include the bacterial flagellum, a microscopic rotary motor used by certain bacteria for movement. The blood clotting cascade, a series of chemical reactions that prevent excessive bleeding. The eye, a highly complex organ composed of interdependent parts that allow for vision. 2. Attempts to falsify irreducible complexity. Critics of intelligent design have made several attempts to disprove irreducible complexity, primarily by arguing that biological systems could have evolved through processes like co-option or by demonstrating simpler, precursor versions of complex systems. These critics claim that irreducibly complex systems are not truly irreducible and that the neo-Darwinian model of evolution can still account for their origins. Co-option and the bacterial flagellum. A common counterclaim is company option, where parts of a system that originally served one function are allegedly repurposed over time for a new function, by random chance and natural selection. Critics argue that the bacterial flagellum, for example, could have evolved from simpler systems like the type 3 secretion system, TTSS, which bacteria use to inject toxins into host cells. According to this view, the proteins that form the TTSS could have been co-opted and modified to form the components of the flagellum. However, co-option does not explain how these repurposed parts could be assembled into a functioning motor like the flagellum. The flagellum requires a precise arrangement of parts, such as a rotor, stator, and propeller, all working together to produce motion. Even if some of these parts evolved from other systems, the interdependence of these parts and the need for them to function together from the outset suggests design, not gradual evolution. Moreover, the type 3 secretion system is thought by some researchers to have evolved from the flagellum, not the other way around. This raises further doubts about whether co-option is a valid explanation for the flagellum's origin. Simpler precursors. The eye and the clotting cascade. Another line of attack against irreducible complexity involves pointing to simpler versions of complex systems, such as the eye. Critics argue that light-sensitive spots found in some organisms are precursors to the more complex, fully formed eyes found in vertebrates. They claim that these simpler systems demonstrate how evolution could have gradually produced more complex systems over time. However, while light-sensitive spots may perform basic functions, they do not explain the origin of the complete, interdependent system needed for vision in higher organisms. The human eye, for example, requires precise interactions between the cornea, lens, retina, and optic nerve, all of which must work together to produce vision. Evolutionary explanations fail to account for how these parts could have gradually evolved in a stepwise fashion while still being functional at each stage. Similarly, critics argue that simpler blood clotting systems found in certain invertebrates suggest that the blood clotting cascade could have evolved gradually. However, the vertebrate blood clotting cascade is a finely tuned system that relies on the precise timing and interaction of multiple clotting factors. The removal or alteration of any one of these factors would result in ineffective clotting, leading to excessive bleeding or harmful clotting. There is no selective advantage for a partially formed clotting system, which points to the necessity of all components being present from the beginning. 3. Why irreducible complexity has not been falsified. Despite these attempts, irreducible complexity has not been falsified. The arguments against it, such as co-option and simpler precursors, fail to address the central issue, that certain biological systems require all of their parts to be present and functioning simultaneously. Let's consider why these counter-arguments fall short. The challenge of gradualism. Darwinian evolution relies on gradualism, the idea that small, beneficial changes accumulate over time, leading to the development of complex structures. However, irreducibly complex systems defy gradualism because there are no functional intermediate stages. A partially formed bacterial flagellum or blood clotting cascade would offer no survival advantage to an organism, meaning that natural selection would have no reason to preserve these incomplete systems. This absence of intermediate stages or viable precursors continues to be a major challenge for evolutionary theory. Critics of irreducible complexity have not been able to provide a testable and falsifiable, step-by-step biochemical account of how these systems allegedly evolved through natural selection. Instead, their explanations rely on speculative mechanisms like co-option, which do not account for the specificity and precision of these systems. Co-option's inadequacy. While co-option offers a possible way for evolution to repurpose existing parts, it fails to explain how these parts could be arranged into a functional system like the bacterial flagellum. Simply borrowing parts from other systems does not account for the need for all of these parts to work together in a coordinated way. The purposeful arrangement of parts, which is a hallmark of irreducible complexity, shows that these systems were designed from the outset, not cobbled together from unrelated components. 4. Irreducible complexity and intelligent design. Irreducible complexity continues to provide strong evidence for intelligent design because it points to systems that could not have arisen through random, unguided processes. These systems exhibit complexity, interdependence, and specificity, which are hallmarks of design. Just as a mousetrap requires a designer to assemble its parts, irreducibly complex biological systems require a designer to arrange their components with foresight and purpose. The role of a designer. Biological systems like the bacterial flagellum or the blood clotting cascade bear the marks of intelligence. The intricate arrangement of their parts and the interdependence of their components suggest that they were designed to function as complete systems. Random mutations in natural selection cannot explain how these systems arose, but intelligent design offers a coherent explanation. A designer arranged the parts of these systems with intention and purpose. From a Christian perspective, this designer is God, who created life with wisdom and care. The complexity and precision of biological systems reflect the intelligence and foresight of a creator who designed life to function in intricate and interdependent ways. As Psalm chapter 139 verse 14 declares, "I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, I know that full well." Conclusion. Irreducible complexity stands strong. In conclusion, irreducible complexity has not been falsified. The attempts to disprove it, such as co-option and the identification of simpler precursors, fail to address the central issue, that certain biological systems require all of their parts to be present and functioning together. The absence of intermediate stages and the inadequacy of co-option as an explanation leave irreducible complexity standing as a powerful argument for intelligent design. The complexity and purposeful arrangement of biological systems point to a designer who created these systems with intelligence and intention. As a Christian, I believe that the irreducible complexity we observe in nature reflects the handiwork of God, who created life with precision and purpose. Far from being falsified, irreducible complexity continues to defeat the Darwinian model and stands as a testament to the intelligence behind life. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and comment below if you agree or would like to add your thoughts. If you would like me to respond to your comment, please make a level 1 comment directly below the video. I will respond to all polite level 1 comments even if it takes me a while, due to other commitments.